Back in the early 2000s, normal mapping was becoming a huge deal, especially in game development, because studios wanted low-poly models to look insanely detailed without destroying performance. The problem was that baking normal maps was kinda still painful, slow, and expensive with tools available at the time. That's where a software called XNormal came in. It was created by Santiago Orgaz, and the whole idea behind the software was basically giving 3D artists a free tool dedicated purely to high-quality texture baking. And what made XNormal special was that it focused almost entirely on baking things like normal maps, ambient occlusions, displacement maps, cavity maps, and transferring details from super high-poly sculpts into game-ready meshes. At the time, this was a massive workflow improvement, especially for artists using tools like Max, Maya, and later ZBrush. The software became insanely popular in the game industry because it was fast, free, and honestly better at baking than many expensive 3D packages back then. During the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, when games heavily relied on baking normals to fake details, XNormal became almost a standard tool in many pipelines, and a lot of artists treated it like an essential utility rather than just another add-on or software. Another reason people loved XNormal was that it was super technical, but really artist-focused at the same time. I mean, it supported tons of mesh formats, including Photoshop plugins, real-time viewers, and even tools for converting height maps into normal maps. Back then, many artists would sculpt crazy detailed characters or weapons in ZBrush, then use XNormal to bake all those details into optimized game models for engines like Unreal or Unity. Before XNormal became huge, most 3D artists were baking maps directly inside big 3D software, like Maya and Max. Those programs already had projection and texture baking systems, but a lot of artists complained that they were slower, harder to set up, or produced messy results compared to XNormal. You see, back in the old days, in different 3D packages, 3D artists often used something called an exploded bake to avoid baking errors caused by overlapping or nearby geometry. Basically, you would temporarily take parts of the model, like gun pieces, robot panels, screws, magazines, or armor parts, and physically move them apart in 3D space before baking normal maps and ambient occlusion, in addition to other maps. The important thing was that each low-poly piece still matched its corresponding high-poly piece exactly, just separated from the others. This reduced projection errors, weird shadows, and normal map artifacts that happened when meshes were too close together. In 3ds Max, for example, artists commonly use projection modifier, push modifiers, cages, and even keyframe animations to explode the model before exporting it to XNormal. Maya artists had similar workflows, using cages and manual mesh offsets. Another big alternative was baking directly in sculpting software like ZBrush or even Autodesk Mudbox. And a lot of character artists use ZBrush because they were already sculpting there anyway, so it felt convenient to just generate normal maps directly from the high-poly sculpt. The problem was that older baking workflows inside sculpting software sometimes struggled with complicated game-ready meshes or gave less control than XNormal. And back in the early 2010s, a lot of artists were basically turning Photoshop into a fake 3D detailing software using a very interesting software from Quixel called NDU. So instead of modeling every tiny screw, panel line, dent, or sci-fi shape in geometry, you would literally draw shapes directly in Photoshop and let NDU convert them into normal map detail. The workflow was honestly kinda genius for the time. You would open a texture sheet or UV layout in Photoshop, then use normal Photoshop tools like brushes, vector paths, selections, layer styles, gradients, masks, and even text tools to create detail, and NDU would then translate all those details into proper normal map information in real time. So if you drew a white line on a black background, NDU would turn that into a raised panel edge or groove instantly. And a huge amount of hard surface detailing was done this way. Game artists making weapons, robots, armors, vehicles, or even sci-fi walls would build entire layers of fake detail without touching a 3D model. You would create vents, bolts, seams, engravings, warning labels, and mechanical panels incredibly fast, compared to manually modeling them by hand. What made it powerful was how powerful it was integrated with Photoshop layer system, because you could stack multiple normal layers, blend them together non-destructively, adjust layer depth, sharpen edges, rotate normals, or sculpt directly onto the normal map using custom brushes. Some artists even treated it almost like 2D sculpting. And a really common workflow was something like this: high poly bake from XNormal, import baked normal maps into Photoshop, enhance it with NDU, then send everything to ADDO for texturing. This way, artists could combine real baked detail from geometry with extra fake details painted directly in 2D inside Photoshop. And one reason a lot of artists loved this kind of workflow was speed. If a studio suddenly wanted extra surface detail on a gun or a robot, you didn't always have to go back and remodel the asset, because you can just paint new detail directly onto the normal map in Photoshop and instantly preview it in Quixel's 3D viewer. For a while, this became the AAA game art workflow before Substance Painter fully took over. And a lot of veteran environment artists and hard surface artists still remember the NDU plus Photoshop combo, because it was one of the fastest ways ever made to texture game assets. So what happened to XNormal? Because it didn't suddenly become bad overnight. It is that the entire texturing workflow around it changed. You see, back in the late 2000s and early 2010s, artists had separate tools for everything: sculpting in ZBrush, baking textures in XNormal, in addition to Photoshop or Quixel tools, and previewing textures in Marmoset toolbag, then exporting to game engines and so on. This workflow worked, but it was fragmented and technical too. Then tools like Substance Painter started combining everything into one place. And suddenly 3D artists could import a mesh, bake normal maps, ambient occlusion, curvature and other maps directly inside the texturing software itself, then immediately start painting materials on top. This was a huge shift because you no longer have to constantly jump between different software to texture one asset. The other big thing was real-time feedback. XNormal was powerful, but it felt more like a technical utility tool. You kinda baked maps, waited, checked results, fixed errors, and rebaked again. Meanwhile, Substance Painter gives you a modern real-time viewport, where you can instantly see smart materials, scratches, edge wear, rust, dirt, and baked details reacting live on the model. And this kind of workflow is dramatically faster and more artistic. Another massive change is smart materials and procedural texturing. In the XNormal era, 3D artists often manually painted textures in Photoshop using baked maps as guides, but Substance started automatically using baked curvature, ambient occlusion, and normal information to generate believable wear and tear, and you could do that instantly. So baking stopped being like a main event and became just one small automated step inside a large texturing software. At the same time, bakers inside Marmoset toolbag, Substance Painter, and even Blender kept improving to the point where 3D artists no longer needed a dedicated external baker. XNormal, by the way, still works great, but the industry moved toward all-in-one pipelines where convenience mattered more than the baking quality. And even this problem has been solved, because tools like Substance Painter can do actually impressive bakes, with all the details that you want to generate some of the best textures out there. And there you have it, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to this channel to receive more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.